In my last video, I was ranting, complaining about the abuse in the care sector. I was ranting about how care workers are being abused and taken advantage of, and I felt disgusted by it. Seriously, it was as a result of so many stories I read on Facebook, TikTok. There are so many people crying, as in their pillows are soaked with tears, because of how their employers have been, maltreating them. But guys, I have good news. I have fantastic news. This was published on the government website, yes, on the 30th of September 2025. And I can't wait to share this with you. It is how the government is going to support care workers. I feel I will just share all the details with you so that you can know what is happening in the UK, guys, and answer some questions. Do I feel you should leave the care sector after the government has published this? Do I think that they will keep using you? Yes, using in quotes. Do I feel that, you should continue to stay there because you're going to get a larger reward in the long run? Just stick with me till the end of this video. I will share my thoughts about what the government has just published. If you're meeting me for the first time, my name is Cynthia. I share information that will help your transition abroad to be as smooth as possible. I share information about settling, working, or studying in the UK. I share news items from different papers online. Even when I go through, social media, if I see anything that is of value to you that I feel you should know about while you're working so hard, I bring it here so that you can be updated. You will make the right decision, guys. If you need support getting a visa sponsorship job, maybe you need help with your CV, cover letter, supporting information, or personal statement, then reach out to me. The link will be in the description as well as in the comments. And without wasting time, let's get into this video. In my last video, I shared how some care workers are being abused, and I felt that care workers should just get out of that sector. I kept saying get out of care. I mean, get out of care roles like support worker, personal, healthcare assistant, all those job roles that do not pay you so much. You are undervalued, things like that. I just felt, it is getting out of hand, and I felt that it was going to be the target of the indefinite leave to remain. Anyway, this one is a different ball game altogether. The government has published this. It says, press release, £500 million for first ever fair pay agreement for care workers. So the government invests £500 million into first ever fair pay agreement in major milestone for care worker pay. So this is the first time ever the government is investing a large amount of money towards care workers pay. So the question is, will your pay increase soon? Will it entice you to stay back in care instead of stepping out and maybe pursuing a job in data analyst, maybe project manager, or any of your area of specialization? That's something that is up for debate, because I kept saying that, when it comes to the elderly, in most countries, the government does not like to spend a lot of money on the elderly and people who are vulnerable, because they feel they are not productive, especially if a government is struggling. They are the people that they will not put on the top of their list sometimes. That is my belief. That's my observation. When I have studied so many countries, they don't spend a lot of money. I'm not saying they don't spend money at all. This government actually spends money in the health and social care sector, but I felt that they need to do more so that they will entice British people to do the job, or people who have indefinite leave to remain will be enticed to do that job instead of doing any other job out there, because there is a huge shortage in this sector. But what the government is trying to say is that they are proving me wrong. They said Secretary of State for Health and Social Care, Wes Streeton, announces a major £500 million, investment in fair pay agreement for adult care workers across England. Guys, it's for England. It's not for Wales, Scotland, or Northern Ireland. No, it's just for England. It says, the first of its kind, the agreement will be negotiated by a new body that brings together employers and trade unions to boost pay and conditions for a workforce that has for too long been undervalued and underpaid. Guys, I've been saying it. They don't pay care workers what they are worth, guys. I've been saying it for a long time. It seems that the government has now recognized your hard work. But what does this mean? What will it translate to? It says the government's announcement follows tireless campaigning from unions and care workers for change. Many people have fought for this to happen. It didn't just suddenly happen. And let me tell you something. It's targeted towards care workers' wages to increase it. But it's not clear when you read this particular article how much would they increase it to, because currently it's at £12. I think it's £12.81 or £12.21 minimum wage. That's what they pay care workers. In fact, if you're on a visa sponsorship, they expect you to be earning at least £25,000 a year. And that's the reason that it has affected a lot of people who want to get into the NHS, because some of the NHS trusts, they don't pay up to £25,000 in entry-level band 3. They pay above that when it's entry-level top tier of band 3. The body will aim to improve recruitment and retention, which is one major problem. Once someone gets into care and is a care worker, most times they don't stay there for years and years. They get out. That's the thing. That's retention is a major problem. Giving staff better recognition for their important work. Yes. And this initial investment will mean that by 2028, care workers will expect to see a boost in their yearly wages. Guys, that's the sad news. I have to break it to you. If you're already a care worker, it does not seem that they will start it before 2028. And 2028 is a very important year, because if you check the statement of changes in immigration rules, care workers, senior care workers, 6135, 6136, the occupation code will disappear from the immigration salary list on the 22nd of July, 2028. So what it means is that the government has plans that they are planning by that 22nd of July 2028, that occupation code should not be on the skilled worker visa list. And I think that they might decide to extend it or not extend it, depending on how all the policies they've introduced can actually help the sector. That is what I believe. Because remember that overseas care workers are no longer allowed to come into the UK. I know it will stop the abuse of the care sector, because a lot of people back in their home countries will pay a large sum of money to come in. You've seen that on Sky News, BBC. You've seen a lot of news articles based on that. It's not me saying it. People paid money so that someone would just help them come in to the UK. And then when they come in, they find out that the employer doesn't have patients or clients, no job. So they come running around thinking of what to do with their life. So that particular sector or problem, I think, that has been solved by stopping overseas care workers from coming in. But there are people who need support. I'm talking about the elderly, people with learning disabilities, vulnerable people in the UK who need support. And you know, the weather here is not something that you just leave everybody out there. So the support that they need is being provided by care workers. So you are wondering, how will they feel in that sector? They'll observe that students are likely to go into that sector, and they've said you need to work at least 3 months with your employer until the dates assigned on your COS before they give you a skilled worker visa. Maybe if you're a student or a graduate visa holder, or maybe a dependent or whatever you are, now you will keep asking, who will fill in that particular role? How can they entice people who are British, who have indefinite leave to remain, to do this job? Because many people keep saying there are no jobs, but there are jobs here. There are a lot of people who are vulnerable that need support. But it's just that many people don't feel it's worth it because of the pay, or sometimes to be a carer, you really need to be out. You have to be very caring, dedicated, tolerant. Just go and ask any carer, from grooming to cleaning to vital checks to, you know, people with pegs. There are just a lot of things to be done, and you just have to do it. So how can you how can you encourage someone to go into that sector and do that job I think part of it would be to increase the wages, but waiting till 2028, guys, that's where my problem is. 500 million. I was like, it's good news, but can it start now? Can it start now? The unions and employers have fought for this, and now you are approving it. It would be nice if it can start now. It says here the cash injection follows the government's immediate action to boost the social care sector, including a £2,000 uplift in the carers allowance and an increase in the disabled facility grants to provide 15,000 more home adaptations. So yeah, £2,000 uplift in carers allowance. My question will be, is it per year or per month? That is just one major question in my mind. And it seems like they want this to start from 2028. Why can't we start it now? If it's per month, let us start it now. I don't know. Why can't we start it now? I was like, should we wait till this is 2028 before we do that? Because they are saying following this, the adult social care negotiating body will be established through regulations in 2026, with the first fair pay agreement coming into force in 2028. Guys, why can't we start it now? That's what I'm saying. When you start it now, it takes a while. People build momentum. Many people would now like, oh, I want to be a carer, so that by the time you wipe that particular occupation code from the skilled worker visa list is totally wiped out, then 2028, then many people would now, who are British, who have ILR, will take up that job and take care of the elderly. I've always been saying that it takes a while for governments to spend a lot of money on people who are elderly because they feel they are not productive, in quotes, but these are people who were principals, headmasters, I don't know, I'm just saying scientists, top professionals in their, career, and now they need our help, they need that support, and then nobody wants to spend a lot of money in that particular sector to take care of them. I don't know. What do you think? This is one question I have to ask you. Do you think if they increased it to £25 an hour, there are some British people or people who have ILR that will be willing to do that job? What do you think? Just write in the comment. Will they be willing to do that job if they increased it? That's doubling the amount they pay per hour. Do you think people will be willing to do the job? I know there are many other jobs that offer £25 an hour. Guys, this is my opinion. I feel you should still get out of the care sector if you can. You can grow, like I said, get that care supervisor, get sponsored to do your MVQ5, to be a registered manager, go into nursing if you're in the NHS. After 3 years, go to do your nursing apprenticeship so that you can work towards your, everything. Or you work towards getting into tech if your job is in something that is restrictive, or you work towards getting to research associates, research assistant roles where you are bringing your expertise in the care sector, combining with your masters and everything you have to be able to, make some impact, do some research to help the people who are elderly, who are vulnerable, who need prosthetic arms, who need, physiotherapy, things like that. There are so many sectors that you can go into. Engineering, if it's your area of specialization, law, data protection, compliance, governance, whatever it is. Teaching, I've been talking about teaching. In fact, if you want me to make a video about how you can progress into teaching, if you are a carer, how you can work towards getting into that sector, please write it in the comments so that I can work or create a video with respect to this. What do you think about what I've just shared now? What do you think? Will somebody be willing to take up a care worker role if it was £25 an hour? Yeah. Anyway, I'll put the link to this in the description. You watch it. You tell me what you think about this. Do you think that this is going to help in any way? Do you think they will still open the borders because they won't be able to have anybody to fill in that job role? They'll still open the borders because this increase will still not attract people who are British, who have indefinite leave to remain, to stay in the sector. Or it will not boost retention. What do you think? Do you think it will make a significant impact? And how will these affect you as an individual? Do you think you are still making your plans to get out of the sector? Because data analysts are earning £450 a day, £500 a day. What do you think? I'll see you in my next video. Bye-bye.
Africa's rich history is filled with stories of powerful kings and queens, like Queen Amina of Zazzau, the fearless warrior queen, King Mansa Musa of Mali, the wise and just ruler, Queen Nzinga of Angola, King Shaka Zulu, and many other notable African rulers. Join us on a journey through the lives of Africa's most legendary kings and queens. In African Kings and Queens, discover the fascinating stories of these iconic leaders. Get your copy now on Amazon Kindle. Grab your copy now.